All right, everyone, I'm very happy with the state of Texas. Don't mess with fucking Texas. Shout out to Anton down there making his biltong. Landofbiltong.com, by the way. Link in the description. You can get some good shit. Texas has told Biden's administration, fuck yourself, over Shelbypark and Eagle Pass. This is one of the most overcrowded crossings for illegal aliens into the United States. And the feds were going there and not really doing their job. And I actually did get correspondence by someone claiming to be an ICE agent who is familiar with the situation. And effectively, they're trying to do their job, but they're not really being allowed to do their job. Makes sense. The Biden admin's not really concerned about human welfare or the jobs of the immigration control that exists down there. So I'll assume this person is telling me the truth. I can accept that. But what Texas did is they said enough is enough. The feds aren't doing their job. They're either unwilling or incapable. Doesn't really matter, though. We're forcing them out of the Shelbypark area so we can take control. And so the state guard showed up. And there's video of them literally denying entry to people who are like ICE agents and stuff like that. And they're in full combat gear and everything, like a little standing army. I congratulate the state, or close to nation at this point, of Texas, for asserting your right to guard your border. You will be combated in court. The feds gave them a timeline for the other day and said, you need to withdraw and allow us in. And they said, no, fuck you, take us to court. Who cares? Texas continues to build border wall, which is another thing that's been ongoing. I think they've completed another 100 miles of it or so by now. They've been trying to guard the Rio Grande with their buoy system. It looks like federal agents have gone in repeatedly to remove them, and now the state of Texas is saying, no, we're not dealing with this anymore. If you don't have the ability to take care of the situation, we have no choice but to take matters into our own hands. I would point out, of course, the U.S., the President of the United States, is duly tasked, under the auspices of national security as Commander-in-Chief, with making sure that the U.S. external borders are defended. It is quite literally there in the job description. But it's not being done. Again, whether it's through negligence or malevolence does not matter. Joe Biden is breaching his oath of office. He's not doing his job. The immigration control people are not capable of doing the job. Even if they were given full latitude, at this point, I doubt that it would make much of a difference, actually. It might not even matter. That Joe Biden has been taken down a peg by the Texans, and Greg Abbott is saying, go ahead and sue us. They're going to have to go before a federal court now and get like a federal court to force the state of Texas to withdraw from Shelbypark. What happens if Greg Abbott ignores that too? It'd be probably stayed on appeal anyway. The Supreme Court might have to rule on whether states that border another country have any form of latitude in a situation that's been declared a state of emergency, which it quite literally is. Abbott's doing whatever he can to take pressure off of Texas by busing. And several 100,000 people have been bused so far over the last couple of years, mainly to Chicago and New York. I personally believe that they should send more to Delaware, to Rehoboth Beach specifically. They should troll Martha's Vineyard again. He should get together with DeSantis and say, this time it'll be real good. We'll send 5 or 6 flights in to Martha's Vineyard instead of just, 1 busload of people. It'll be 10 busloads of people. Then we'll see their NIMBYist reaction. That's what I personally support. I think that it'd be better to send most of the migrants to swing states that have like sanctuary cities in them. Overload them. I realize this would be an inconvenience to some of my subscribers. Like I mentioned Milwaukee, and says like, no, I live near Milwaukee. Please don't do that. Yes, you might be aware of the situation, but a lot of your fellow compatriots there don't have any idea that it's going on. They don't see a problem. Fucking Maine. Brunswick is building 5 new shelters for hundreds and hundreds of migrants that are there. Again, people who in many cases are illegal. Sometimes they're legit asylum seekers, but half of them aren't even being processed, so you don't necessarily know. They're literally just walking across the border and saying, hey, I come from a country where there's no safe third country, and I lost my passport, by the way. Tee-hee, my paperwork's gone. And here's a name that may or may not be real. And by the way, I got a couple of unaccompanied minors with me. These are totally my kids. Don't worry, the fearful expression on their face is totally the result of being in a strange land where there's snow and shit like that. This is what's happening. Texas told Biden to touch grass. We're not going to listen to you. You're not doing their job. Why do you have a problem with us doing our job? you're probably going to end up seeing an imminent Supreme Court decision on this issue. I suspect that they will side with the federal government, unfortunately. However, in so doing, they may also be able to jury-rig in a decision with regards to the legality of sanctuary states. So, if you do an even Stevens there, I suppose in the end it wouldn't matter too much. It would disincentivize the travel anyway, and take, again, some more pressure off of the illegal crisis that's going on at the U.S. border. It's all fucked up. Everyone knows this, by the way. Even liberals are beginning to wake up to the fact that it's all messed up. It's not just, hey, these extremist, bigoted, evil conservatives and MAGA Republicans and populists just hate the brown people. Has nothing to do with that. If you were getting an influx of millions of people a year from Eastern Europe, the liberals would probably start to complain about that now too. They would probably have a bit of an issue with it. Hey, it wouldn't be woke enough, wouldn't be diverse enough. Oh my God, this is going to make more white people in the country. White people that might actually have kids. Holy shit, that's quick, we've got to close the border immediately. That's what the Democrats would try to do. I praise the state of Texas. Abbott is on a different level from most leaders on this particular issue. And I always love it when the mayor of Chicago, or the mayor of New York, or the governor of New York complains about this, and then they beg Biden for money. And they shut him down before because he offered them some money in order to house, illegals and stuff. And they turned it down because they said, no, that's a lowball figure. We need I think he offered $2 billion and they wanted $5 billion collectively. I think each one of them wanted $5 billion in order to house everyone. It's funny because I never see the state of Texas trying to gobble on Biden's knob asking him for money, even though they would be entitled to do so because they're the ones whose border is overrun. No, instead, they decided to absorb the cost themselves and actually do what the Biden admin's incapable of doing, which might be why Joe Biden has a big fucking problem with it, because it makes him look weak. Honestly, it's like, look, remember when the mayor of New York City there, he complained about the situation, said Biden doesn't have a clue what he's doing, and then he gets raided by the FBI a few weeks later. That was such coincidental timing, by the way. I'm sure that the FISA warrant wasn't still wet at the time that he made that speech. I'm sure that there was, when you moved your hand across the FISA warrant, it didn't smear a little bit on the time of the raid of his campaign manager, which I think was only a week after his speech. Again, being, debasing Joe Biden and his border policies. Total coincidence. Coincidences happen so often lately, by the way you see. So link in the description, archived of course. At this time, the state of Texas is basically saying, fuck off and sue us. We're going to do our jobs, because you can't, and we'll deal with it in court. We'll see you in court. And by the way, the state of Texas is a big state. They have a lot of resources, legally speaking, so they've got plenty of talent and time and money to draw on. There's a possibility that they prevail. It is possible that they prevail. It's just not likely. That's about all. Peace out.